Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled Woke Class. Primary School Bans Sexist Phrases like man up and good morning boys and girls as head teacher says it's damaging. And guys, what we have here is a story from the other side of the pond, across the pond, over in England, where this head teacher, or I guess that's what they call the equivalent of a principal over there, has decided that these phrases are damaging to little kids, so therefore they have to be banned going forward. The teachers can no longer address their class, good morning boys and girls, or just saying boys and girls and things like that, and other phrases that are so damaging in her view. And guys, it's like a week doesn't go by, even a day doesn't go by nowadays where you don't read about some article that some school, either in some country, where the teacher or the principal is enacting something to basically make things even more ridiculously politically correct, more than they already are. Okay? I mean, it's never ending. I mean, where is the point where pretty much everybody says enough is enough? This is ridiculous. Well, here's yet another story here. I mean, damaging to kids to say good morning boys and girls, or things like man up and all that. It's crazy. But again, I'm bringing these things up to show you guys the world we live in. And so for many of you guys like me that things have gotten way too far, it's important to know about these things and talk about them, because if nobody knows about it, nobody's going to talk about it. If nobody talks about it, a line won't be drawn in the sand saying no more. Okay? So I'm going to get into this article here. You go see more what I'm talking about. Starts, a primary school has banned a string of phrases like man up and good morning boys and girls over fears they are sexist. Sarah Hewitt Clarkson from Anderton Park Primary in Spark Hill, Birmingham, has claimed the phrase good morning everyone should be used instead of boys and girls because it does not create a gender divide, including those people who might not identify as either sex. In the third grade, in the fourth grade, in the second grade, the move has sparked heated debate, with some branding the decision ridiculous. Well, you can add me to the list, and probably thousands of more people are going to watch this video to that list when this video publishes. But appearing on ITV's Good Morning Britain, the head teacher said, "We've seen in the last year the biggest ever rise in child," I got to spell it out here, ABUSE, I can't say it, "in grooming. And if our boys and girls grow up in a school, we don't challenge this sexist language, and boys are told to man up, grow up hair, don't cry, boys don't cry. It's very damaging for them, and ABUSERS later on, potentially, or bullies, people they walk past on the way home from school, will also use this fear." So in this woman's view, in her genius, in her life experience, in her genius view of things, by not doing this, we'll save the children, so to speak, okay? That you got to be kidding me. And obviously this woman guaranteed is a effeminist, guaranteed there. You know, and I'd like to know, when it comes to these harebrained ideas, who generally comes up with these ideas? Actually, we all know darn well, when I go through these articles, we know, man or woman, who are the ones that usually come up with these harebrained ideas? Okay, because last month I did an article about how in Australia, in a middle school in Australia, the principal, a female principal, gathered a big assembly of kids and made the boys stand up and apologize for the bad behavior. I'm not going to grape and other types of bad behavior that men have done to women in the past. They made the boys stand up and apologize to all the girls in the school for something that they didn't do. And the boys are there puzzled, like, what the hell's all this about? And the parents were absolutely outraged over this, you know? And of course, the principal got on the news because it was world news and expressed that it was wrong, that they made a mistake doing that. But she wasn't sorry. She did it on purpose, okay? This type of crap, it's ridiculous. And I might add here, as a man, I can tell you one thing. The job is to raise boys to become men, not these sensitive, whiny crybabies. And that's what we're going to have. I mean, we already have some boys that are definitely teenagers, 20-somethings, that are these sensitive, emotional, whiny crybabies, okay? I know some dudes in their 30s that are like this. Now, I live here in Massachusetts, not much longer, I might add. I want to point that I'll be moving soon. But a lot of the guys here obviously were raised in a more liberal environment in the schools and all that, and you can already start to see it with some of the guys here that are in their 30s, and in some cases their 40s. It's unbelievable. Where do you draw a line here? making the concern over good morning boys and girls, another phrase that are considered to be, in her view, damaging. There's a lot bigger things more important to worry about with raising children and in the schools. Okay, how about making sure the kids have good funding for the schools so they can get all the supplies they need to be educated, okay, and be prepared for this world. Not for spending time on this type of bullshit. You gotta be kidding me here. It goes on. She claimed that addressing boys and girls in a classroom was divisive for the youngsters. She said, of course we use the words boys and girls. If you just think about it for a minute, it is slightly a strange way of dividing a room of people, and just good morning everyone is more inclusive. Who cares? Who cares? Why are you wasting time on it? Guys, I'm not a parent. Okay. And, in so many ways, I'm glad I'm not a parent, because just having to deal with this type of crap now, I mean, I guarantee I'd be one of these guys that'd be down there all the time raising hell with the teachers, with the principal, with the school board, with the superintendent. They would know my face. They would hate my guts. And I'd be encouraging every parent to come down there and start raising hell when these type of things would happen all the time. Okay. I would be their worst nightmare. Or I would probably get to the point where I'd pull the kid out of school and be searching for a good private school that didn't do this type of crap. But unfortunately, more and more are doing this. And it's become more about indoctrination to these kids, not actual education and learning to be prepared for the adult world. She goes on, there may be a couple of children in schools who don't really identify as a boy or a girl. So good morning everyone is a far more inclusive way of saying everyone instead of choosing a division that's particularly characteristic of your person. Again, in the second or third grade, guys, when I was a kid in elementary school, it was a tradition that on Halloween, they would throw a big Halloween party in the school. And that day, kids got to dress up if they wanted to in costume. It was pretty fun. You're in the fourth grade, you can dress up like a monster or something like that, as long as it wasn't disrupting the class. And then we would have like a 2 or 3 hour Halloween party after lunch, and there'd be a big parade in the hallway, and everybody got to see everybody's costumes. It was a lot of fun. This has been going on for decades. And then by the time I got to high school, I had found out that the elementary school abruptly stopped doing that one year permanently. And lo and behold, it's because there were a few kids that went to that school that were of a certain religious background. I'm not going to mention what it was. And basically their parents were complaining that they had to pull the kids out of school that day on Halloween. The kids weren't getting an education because of the Halloween festivities, right? So enough complaining went on that they stopped doing it altogether. So just for like 3 or 4 kids, a small percentage of the easily 500 kids, kindergarten through 6th grade that went to elementary school, they all lost that fun day that everybody looked forward to because of like 3 or 4 kids. Okay, and their parents. It's ridiculous. But again, so much for majority rule. It's the very, very minority rule. In my opinion, that's wrong. It's ridiculous. They ruined a fun day for everyone. And now, again, in her view, for the potential that, she's doing this just because of the potential of people it could impact. And I guarantee you guys, probably won't bother anybody. All right, but we're in a world now where people are conditioned to be offended about this and be offended about that and almost look for things to be offended about. When does this stop? You want to talk about a very spoiled, pampered society where that's what you got to do with your spare time. Look for things that are offensive. Look for things that are going to bother people. Come on here. There are a lot of parts of this world, people don't know where their next meal is going to come from. Do you think they have time to be bothered by being offended about this and offended about that? They just want to make sure they eat or make sure their kids eat, all right? Or have enough clothes to wear and heat in their home. But GMB host Susan Reed challenged the decision, asking what would happen if a teacher used the phrase, "Good morning, guys." Hewitt Clarkson responded by saying that both her and Reed were not guys, and that was a male word that was being used as a meaning for everyone. So addressing the group as "good morning, guys" is a bad thing in her view too. Guys, I say guys all the time. Guys, I know plenty of women that say that. They address their group of friends as guys in texting and stuff like that. Okay, girls do it. So it's, yes, a guy would be considered a male, but a lot of times we're referring to a group. A lot of people just say guys. It's just a common thing, at least here where I live. And nobody gets offended, nobody gets butthurt, nobody loses their shit over it. But almost an accident over there. And the sirens would have been a-coming if there was an accident. So you see what I mean, guys? More reason to find drama and stir things up. It's ridiculous. Journalist Nana Aku, who was also taking part in the debate, said the head teacher was mixing up two different ideas. One using damaging phrases such as man up, and other about using inclusive language by saying good morning guys. Aku said, to be honest, I'd be worried about if this woman was teaching my kids. Is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous. What I think we're doing here now is dissecting language in the most clinical form and creating a generation of wallflower kids who are listening for an offense. Exactly. They're conditioning this generation of kids to look for anything and everything that would be, in someone else's opinion, offensive and wrong. Get a life. This is ridiculous. It's getting to the point where we're losing a grip here. We need to be looking at the context of language. The discussion over the woke move also sparked a fierce debate online. One teacher disagreed with the head, writing on Twitter that the head teacher, really? I'm a teacher, I think it's ridiculous. Concentrate on reading, writing, and math with the boys and girls. Exactly. That's what they're there for education in the best way possible. If she wants to fight about something, she wants to create a big campaign about some issues, do it about funding, do it about things that can benefit the kids for their lives of growing into adults that are capable of not just surviving, but functioning well in this world. Not about this woke, whiny bullshit. Another person said teaching toddlers about sexism, whatever next, absolutely ridiculous. At this age, they should be worrying about finger painting and Peppa the Pig, not the fact that women might be offended by the phrase, hey guys. Exactly. Thank you. A third person added, I say guys in my classroom as I believe is a gender neutral. I agree with Ben. I dismiss Rose, or if I say off you go boys and girls, can I no longer say this? It's ridiculous. But others came to the defense of the head teacher. Of course, because you're going to get some people on the other side of it because they've already been brainwashed and they've drinking the Kool-Aid. One wrote, actually, she's right. I'm an academic. I used hi guys, hi folks, and I've honestly never considered this before. See? But now this person is in an environment where now people are being conditioned to question, is what I'm saying offensive? Is what I'm saying is hurtful? And trying to find, see what I'm talking about here? So actually, I will now make much more of an effort to use folks from now on. I hadn't even considered this because as we get older, we do segment based on this. A second person commented, I'm so glad she came out against guys. It's both sexist and patronizing. Smack. Find something else bigger to worry about. You know, the people that whine and complain about these things and just make such a big mountain out of a molehill, I want justice to be served. I want karma to strike them in the sense that I want life to give them something to really be worried about, something really to be complaining about. Then they'll see real quick how much this type of bullshit, and that's what it is, how big of a deal is when they suddenly don't have a job and can't pay their bills and things like that. All of a sudden, they're going to stop worrying about things like this nonsense. A third added, I agree with the teacher on this one. Changing the way children speak in their formative years may open conversations early on and change the way they think as they grow. Yeah, so a bunch of second graders and third graders aren't going to be talking about Transformers or Marvel or Star Wars, whatever they talk about. They're going to actually be having conversations in school about what is offensive and being neutral and all that. Yeah, I'm sure that's what your typical second and third grader is going to be doing. But that's what these types definitely hope for. Anderton Primary, where more than 80% of pupils are Muslim, was at the center of a fierce row 2 years ago over the teaching of gay relationships. Parents staged a number of protests over the school's No Outsiders policy, which is designed to teach pupils about diversity, tolerance, and acceptance, as well as LGBT rights, same-sex relationships, gender identity, race, religion, and color. Again, this is an elementary school, so, they're going to focus on something different, not that. But anyhow, guys, and by the way, I was looking to read some comments to see I'm not alone in all this, and to no surprise, the comment section for this particular article was completely disabled. So they were probably getting just bombarded from people all over the world with an opinion probably close to mine. And obviously didn't like that, so therefore they disabled it. But anyhow, guys, this is what we have. This is today's world. So I'm not exaggerating. This is an article. You can scroll down the description, click on the link, and you'll see it for yourself. And there's obviously plenty of other copies of this article from different publications. But This is today's world, so we got to speak up about this. A line has to be drawn to say enough is enough. And if you're a parent out there, this bullshit will keep continuing in the schools unless you actually speak out about it, okay? Because this is absolutely ridiculous. And this isn't about educating the kids to be prepared for the hard world we're in. This is about a full indoctrination about somebody else's ideas and how things ought to be. It's gone too far. So, but anyway, guys, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. For those of you that are parents, let me know. Guys, I got people all over the world that watch me. Let me know how things are going, especially you who are parents, how things are going with your kids, or maybe your grandkids if you're older, or if you're an aunt or uncle with the nieces, nephews. How are things going in the schools there? What are you doing to voice your opinion if things have gone too far? I'd like to hear about that. I really do. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.